Welcome to the newest episode of the Polynesian podcast, sponsored by Livasa Island Apparel, www.livasaislandapparel.com. 4 days of Aloha in Vancouver, Washington, coming very soon.
Coming real quick, man.
Less than a
Real.
month now.
Yep.
We're inside of a month, so looking forward to that. Polyfest also in July. Um, Lots of things going on. It's going to be exciting. I am Lance Valitono. Coach Forrest, how you doing?
I'm good, man. Just get some yard work. I feel like I'm still in Samoa every time I do yard work, which is a good and a bad thing.
Why? How is it bad?
It's bad because, man, I left Samoa, so I didn't have to do yard work. Man, I can remember. I can remember, and just on the weekends, and you're ready to go out and ride your bikes, or when you were older, go out and oh, sure, pick me up, go beach, something swimming. And then all of a sudden, right before you go out, the grass. Okay. Man. But see, the best thing about that, and then when you get older, it was pretty cool because I would do yard work, and my house is right like by a road, so people would pass by, and the homies would pass by. They would yell, "Hey, what are you doing, man?" And I always wanted to be a smart. Like, bitch, you see me mowing the lawn. A couple minutes later, someone like whoever passed by would come by. They'd have a weed eater. They start. Someone else would pass
Oh,
by, and
wow.
now and that's because everybody wants to, y'all want to hang out. And before you know it, there's four of you mowing the lawn, and then all of a sudden you're out there thawing out chicken, making the
Yeah.
marinade. You know what I mean? And then you're making rice, and someone's like, "Y'all bring drinks." Now you're drinking. Now you're barbecuing, and then before you know it, half the yard's done, and you're already drunk.
Yo. Are you making calls out to different people, or is it only the people that were there that are allowed at the barbecue?
Oh no, you already know, man. People, once you start drinking, it's tough. Like, you're doing the yard, having fun, and then you're just like, man, just call these guys. People come over, and Samoa, so all your homies there come over. No one's ever really coming over empty-handed, so
Mhm.
it's pretty cool. Yeah.
Nice. Um, Speaking of inviting new people to the cookout, the Lakers have a new head coach
Hmm.
in JJ Redick from
To worst school ever. Sorry, Chelsea. If Chelsea Gray,
Dude.
if you're listening to this by any chance at all, sorry.
Yeah, that's a North Carolina fan right there. Um, yeah, JJ, like the first time I heard of JJ Redick, point guard Duke, before coming upstairs to record, my Sammy let me know that he's freaking racist. I was like, oh, come on. And I immediately
Yeah,
started
Sammy,
just
you tell him.
justifying, oh no, it was a passionate situation or like in game. No.
No,
Oh Jesus.
no,
It was just like some lady was like JJ Reddick called me the N-word, and I was like, oh wow, that's anyways, I had that ruined my whole freaking view on the hiring. So he's
thank you, Sammy. You
I was
tell
like,
him.
JJ Reddick, former, point guard, NBA, freaking all-star, under Hall of Fame coaches. This is like I'm just going off of the freaking press conference, right? So they're just finessing the stats on this, but JJ Reddick is so connected into the NBA and has had a long career. I mean, that's obvious, right? Long time 3-point shooter, and guard in the NBA. I don't know his stats, his like count of all stars or whatever, but people know the name and has become like a face on ESPN and podcasts. So I think like his standing has like been elevated, like more people know about him. Um, uh, when I found out that he was like in the running to be the coach, I was like, okay, so there's not going to be any more podcasts with LeBron. Like they're not going to be podcasting when they're freaking working together. But it was like, is JJ Redick qualified to be the head coach? And in the press conference, the Lakers GM Rob Pelinka is like, we're going to hire assistant coaches with head coaching history. to kind of make sure that JJ Redick is like supported and is, kind of shown the ropes, so to speak. What are your initial thoughts on JJ Redick, and what are some questions you might have about the hiring?
He's a racist. No.
Right.
Going back to his playing days, JJ Redick was Grayson Allen before Grayson Allen. I don't know if any of you
Okay.
guys know that.
Like an instigator?
No, a dirty player.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, he was known for that. He was known for same thing, instigating and playing dirty. But he was also known for being clutch, shooting. Not when he was in college. Not a lot of people know that he could go to the bucket too. Like when he got to the NBA, of course, he was labeled a specialist as a 3-point shooter. Two guard who can shoot the ball. But if you watch him at Duke, my man, he could go to the hoop. He was athletic, or athletic enough, I guess. But he could do things on the court. But he again, very smart, very intelligent player, high basketball IQ, and then one of those guys that you knew one day would later become a coach. Duke has a couple of those guys that have sat on benches before in the NBA, and then later sat on a bench as a coach, not just a player. Danny Ferry is one of those guys. He was a pretty good coach.
What's that?
Danny Ferry, he played for. He's a Duke alumni. He played. I'm pretty sure he won a championship with San Antonio. Where else did Danny Ferry play? He was a high lottery pick too, coming out of Duke. It's like a 6'9" white boy. I'm pretty sure the 6'9" white boy. Played like small forward, power forward, point forward. He's pretty good, Danny Ferry. And JJ Redick's in that mold. He was, I mean, you could call him pretty much a player coach when he was at Duke. You saw him directing plays. Coaches, they trusted him to be on the court and run the team. So even in the NBA from the bench, if you watched a lot of the games he was playing in, just he could call things from the bench, And then you could tell his sports IQ, I want to say, when you listen to him on his podcast with LeBron or all his features that he's in on ESPN. He does say some outrageous things, but it's JJ Redick. Like, yeah.
I mean, I know I've seen him more recently the last couple of years. I mean, when did he retire and then immediately just started going on TV like soon
Yeah,
after, or did he?
I think he as soon as he retired, he started being he was an analyst. I think he started for college first, then the NBA, and then just it's funny because his rise in social media and the NBA coaching rooms, like his rise was pretty quick. Like, people just started like you saw him on ESPN and his opinion was very highly regarded. And then like you were just like, well, this fool just stopped playing. Like how if you're just a casual guy, you're just like, okay, JJ Redick. But if you're a guy who's been watching ball or like involved in coaching, just really involved in basketball, you kind of wonder like how quick he's become or he's gotten to right now. From social media, from playing to social media, and now coaching, the head coach of the Lakers. Never been on a bench before as a coach, not an assistant coach, not a trainer, not a graduate assistant, a scout, nothing like that. He's gone straight from the podcast and analyst seat straight into a head coach.
Are,
Go ahead.
are there any like successful examples of what's being done here?
I want to. Well, Jason Kidd, he's doing all right.
NBA Finals.
He was an assistant when he first started coaching. Point guard, obviously those are the guys that you really think of as running the team. I would like to say Steve Nash, but not really because his stint with the Nets wasn't great. It wasn't horrible.
I feel
it wasn't
okay.
Great.
Yeah, you have like a former player that's supposed to like be able to get all the already like long tenured players, like
Right,
Kevin Durant, James Harden, LeBron and Anthony Davis here in LA.
right.
Um, do you think JJ Redick's that guy, or just the best available this year right now? And do you think it's going to work? Do you think these old guys are going to buy into what Redick is preaching?
I think he's what you call, or what they call in today, a player's coach. But when I
Mm,
say that, it's more of him, uh, like we're talking about the older players. It's more of him having them be a part of like what he does. Having say in what he does, because he knows that he needs those guys to be on board with him.
mm.
And I think now that's tough, because if you're a coach, you're a coach, and I get it. It's LeBron. He's some supposedly a child prodigy, even like uh his intelligence to the game, and like just his I don't know how to say it. Just
IQ,
the yeah, the
experience.
IQ, the yards killing me. Anyway, because the, the yards taken from me, damn it. Um just like his stature in the league, like the way people think of him, it's almost godlike in the league for some people. For some people. So with JJ Redick, like the older guys, I think he's gonna have them be more involved with him, as like almost like on the same level as him. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? And then the younger guys are gonna have to buy in. The younger guys might be a little bit easier, because
They probably know JJ Redick. I
that's what
mean,
I'm
not
saying.
know him
So
personally, know of him, right? Like they've seen him while they were growing
no,
up.
so they didn't see him playing, most likely. But what they have seen him is him uh battling people on these podcasts, or
Mm.
having arguments with Stephen A. Smith, and just the stuff that's
That
popular nowadays.
that's what it is.
Yeah.
His last year was 2021 for the Dallas Mavericks,
See,
but even before he retired as a player, I think he
he
was
was
doing these podcasts on
he
doing these
was
shows
yeah,
like
he
on the
was
circuit,
he
kind of
was he
like
was
yeah, like
he
you
was
see
getting
CJ
ready.
McCollum on these shows now,
Yeah,
and but like he's still playing, right? So like
yeah,
he didn't even wait until he was fully retired as a player to start to transition over. And then for the last 3 years is where he's made himself more like out there, presentable, more appearances, more regularly on these shows, these podcasts. So like
right.
now people know more of him. I didn't think that was enough to like make him, you know, the coaching candidate. Like, uh, but I don't know. I've already started to, I guess, try to buy in myself. Like, look, this can work if we all just believe. When he was talking in the press conference, he was like, LeBron was shooting like 40% from three. I want LeBron to shoot more 3 pointers. I want him to facilitate from the outside. I want to focus the team on both sides around Anthony Davis as a hub, which makes all the sense in the world, right? Maybe towards the end of his prime, but still an MVP type player that can affect the game on both sides of the court to a very high level is Anthony Davis. And LeBron's a lot older, so he's going to give you what he can, but he's not going to be able to give you 12 freaking Mack truck dunks a game anymore. But if he's able to transition his game into three, how do you hear as a coach? Do you think that's the best way to utilize these current stars um, for JJ Redick, Anthony Davis,
For sure,
LeBron?
definitely, definitely. And that's a good strategy. He's also smart to come out and say that he wants to focus the team on AD, because one, um, if LeBron leaves, he's already said it, that you know put it into people's heads that uh he intends to focus more on AD, who's gonna be there. guaranteed. You know what I mean? He's going to be there guaranteed. LeBron is entering his a free agent year, and yeah, I expect him back personally. You know, I don't
He's
think
still got to
he's
pick up his player option.
that too, that too. So I do expect him back, but on the off chance that he leaves, it's like, well, we already plan to move on without him. You know, our plans are or maybe not to move on without him, but our plans already are revolved around AD. So if he leaves, it doesn't really put a dent into our plans for the future. So smart to come out and say that. And then, of course, you know, if LeBron does come back, you still have a place for him. And it's a place where, like he said, he had the numbers, came out, said LeBron was shooting 40 from three. So it's somewhere that you can live with LeBron hitting threes and at the same time facilitating. So he two of the things that he does really well right now into his career, and then he'll give you all the extra athletic stuff with what he has left, which is a lot compared to some of the players. Like at his age, with the athleticism he has now, that's still like almost leaps and bounds ahead of more than half of the league. So, yeah,
I feel like that's how much longer until that dwindles away and LeBron is just like a
I think we see it
Jordan
this.
in a Washington Wizards jersey.
I think we see it this season. Maybe not as as
You think he falls off this season?
a little, not the Jordan, not the Jordan Wizards Jordan, uh that far of a fall off. But I do think we're gonna start seeing him. Well, he doesn't defend much now, but I we're gonna start seeing the first step. Maybe guys being able to cover that first step a lot easier. Not easy, but a lot easier. We're gonna see,
Neutralize.
right. We're gonna start seeing guys
Damn.
that he used to be able to power through. Maybe he's gonna have a little trouble now, just bullying his way to the bucket, because that's what he does when everything else isn't working, and that's always worked for him. Just going to the bucket, bullying people, like putting
Yeah.
them in the post or running right through them.
Get to.
Yeah, yeah. So I think this year we're gonna see a little of that go away, depending on who he's playing. Um, and he already takes games off, and I think we're gonna start seeing his minutes maybe just a little dwindle, because I think he's gonna start getting tired again. So
It
yeah,
the human body, right? It's
right,
at some point it's not able to do the superhuman stuff that it has been able to do its entire career. So at some point LeBron's just gonna be neutralized. It's going to
right,
be easier to cover him. That the video compilation of the people who block LeBron used to be so short, but it's like people are adding to it.
right.
It's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
a lot more people are getting that kind of quote unquote highlight. Oh, I stuffed LeBron. It used to be like two people, and now
Right. It
it's
was a very
freaking
short list. It was a
yeah.
very short list.
So,
And then
but do you think that plays into LeBron's mindset when he's on the court? Like that's why he's shooting more threes. He's like, I don't want to give these viral poster like blocks up
I
on
don't know
myself.
if I don't know if it's that much of an ego playing into that. I think it's really just more that he knows where he's going to be more effective now.
Mm,
We saw it with Jordan. We
mm,
saw it with Kobe. Later into their careers, the turnaround became deadly. Like it was their go-to moves, but the later into their careers, it was almost like unguardable. You know, you expected them to take that Jordan to make that little turnaround. Same with Kobe, the fadeaway. We saw the mid-range game, their mid-range game as they got older get perfected. You know, so I imagine LeBron's going to be the same way. He's going to know where he can get off his shots the best, and it might not be again like you just talked about him going to the bucket, or you something more athletic, as in dribble, drive, go. I think he'll be able to just pull up now, dribble, dribble up, pull up, pop, find himself in the corner, pop there. So yeah, not much. I don't think it's gonna be that much of a head thing for him. that he's gonna start shooting things. I just think he's gonna figure out that he's more effective shooting the ball. So, and again, LeBron's drop off is probably still better than 75% of the league. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. So still, I mean, that's a lot. That's still his contract is still like a lot.
You're right. Yeah,
uh,
exactly.
but I mean, I'm starting to be very interested to see like what the end of LeBron's career is going to look like, and
Like
if he's
LeBron's not
gonna.
the he's not the normal veteran on your team. Like you bring the veteran on just for the veteran presence or locker room presence, and a couple of rebounds here or a couple. Like LeBron's still your number. He's a legitimate number one on some teams, but for most teams, he's still a legitimate number two, number three option on the team. So
Yeah,
I know a lot of LeBron fans are like, no way, he's still the greatest in the world. Okay, take it easy.
not my goat.
No, oh my god, yeah. I
As
think
a
JJ Redick. I think what his best option is to do, like you asked, you said that he's gonna really need the guys to buy in. Amen. That's exactly what he's got to do. This first year, all he has to do though is make sure that the guys figure out his roster first of all. Make the cuts, get Palinka to sign the guys that he needs to be on that roster that are going to support AD. I think number one is to again persuade LeBron to stay because he is a number two guy, but also that LeBron know what his like you said, he wants him to shoot threes and facilitate. That's a great role for LeBron. So just fix your roster now, sign a couple of guys that are going to do the things that you need them to do and not complain. They don't need to take 30 shots. They don't need to have the ball in their hand all the time, but guys that are going to get the rebounds that you need them to get, play the tough, really tough defense. Um, like Oklahoma, the trade of Josh Giddey for
oh
um,
yeah,
that's that
Alex
is a
Caruso.
that is a great trade because they were already one of the better defensive teams in the league, but now they have three guys who can defend the perimeter, like just flat out defend, who can really change the game with their defense. Like they can score no points. Him, Dort, I forgot the other guy on their bench. The dude on the bench, Dort, and Caruso playing defense at the perimeter with Shy, who also plays really decent defense, and then you have Chet, who changes shots in the back. And now all they need is another big man, and they're super scary. Like, and nothing against,
Like an Al Horford type,
yeah,
like a second big man, or like a leading big man,
like an actual big man. Because Chet's a little
like an
small.
actual thick, like
Yeah,
because
yeah,
Chet's still
he's a little thin,
birdhouse.
and once he went down or he got into foul trouble, they had guys like Cody Williams' brother. What's his name? Jaden Williams. Jalen Williams. One of the Williams brothers that they have on Oklahoma.
One of these brothers named Williams.
But his younger brother is entering the draft. Cody Williams. He's coming out of Colorado. He's entering the draft. He's projected to be high 1 to 7 draft pick, first round. Anyway, Jalen Williams played center for them and power forward at 6'5". I get it. He did a really great job, like really great job this year. But that's tough. Even though post players are thought of as running backs now in the NBA, they're compared now to running backs in the NFL as just supporting players. Um, they're still
Replaceable.
very, very important. Right. Still very, very important. And if they get one more big with Alex Caruso, those are the guys you need. Caruso doesn't need the ball in his hands. The
Like a
next
Ben
center that
Wallace. I really want to just
oh
throw out
no,
like
yeah,
names like
definitely. But you again, you don't need him to be Ben Wallace. You need him to have Ben Wallace's work ethic because Ben Wallace was like a star, bona fide star. Rob Palinka needs to sign guys who are going to go in, do the dirty work, play the defense no one wants to play. The guys that are
Yeah,
going to dive after basketballs,
I
we're going to,
feel like LA just doesn't have that temperament. The whole city and
they
all the
don't.
teams. Like you
That's what I'm
can't
saying.
have like
They
that's
don't
why
like,
Kobe was so different.
they wanted, they want,
Oh,
it's LA. They want the flash.
yeah,
They don't,
Hollywood.
yeah, they don't want the garbage pail guy who comes in, clocks in, does his job really well, goes home, doesn't complain. They
Mhm.
want the guy that's gonna come in, clock in, be loud, talk all the shit. You know what I mean? Get into a couple of fights at work and then go home. That's what they're looking for.
They want the Joey Bosa, not the Joe Alt.
Right. Amen. Amen. But and then
I'm
so
such
your
a
first year
Bosa
you pick up
hater.
those years. I know I hate Bosa. Uh, both brothers. Damn it. uh, yeah. First year, sign those guys, get everybody to buy in. And whether or not LeBron stays now, you're going into your second year. That's when you go and you go get that bona fide second or third star on your team to go with AD. Because then after everybody on that team buys in, it'll be a lot easier to go into your second year and convince one of these other stars to come and play. Because I think right now, even a lot of the guys who are stars kind of look at JJ Redick and just like, bro, if you couldn't guard me when I was playing, like, I'm not gonna have you tell me what to do on the court. You know what I mean? Like, crazy.
I'm trying to figure out who the Lakers are going to be targeting. They said they're going to make a splash. There's going to be a busy free agency, but uh,
There's
yeah,
still some guys. Oklahoma's also they've got uh draft picks that they are able to shop around right now. They have so many high draft picks. They could shop that around. PG is a free agent, he's been linked to multiple teams. Um Even though Chris Paul is also past his prime, maybe still also probably top 15 point guards in the league. He's also been linked to the Lakers um, this year, not in the past when he didn't get signed. Uh,
didn't get traded. David Stern. Why? Why you do that? Tyrese Maxey. You said Paula George,
Tyrese Maxey,
Anunoby,
Paul George, right?
James
Ananobi.
Harden, DeRozan.
DeRozan could come home.
DeRozan on like a
I
reasonable contract.
Yeah, I think but he'd also have to come in and play a role. You know what I mean?
Yeah, instead of so go for like the Quicklies, the
Oh man,
Claxtons,
because yeah, exactly, because they can fill it up.
Clay Thomas,
They,
Clay
they
Thompson.
if he can buy in again to being the whole thing about him with Golden State is he doesn't see himself as a second tier player. He still
He's
thinks of himself as a top shelf player.
he's 1A, 1B.
Yeah. And that's why he's having problems with whether or not he wants to stay in Golden State, or um picking a team who wants to sign him because yeah, with the big contract, he's also going to want a big role. That's what he wants. I could see him playing in LA. That'd be great because then you'd have a shooter definitely on one side. Then you could have LeBron on one side also, who's again shooting percentage was 40 from three. And then you have AD in the middle. That's three great players that you can just play around and have everybody do something. So, but you also have Atlanta shopping around Trey Young. You know, yeah, Atlanta
Yeah,
shopping around Trey Young. Um, just who else? People. I mean, there's
yeah, like Miles
Detroit.
Bridges.
Detroit might be a team also that you might be able to get some decent players from because one, they just fired Monty Williams, and two, so far all the very talented roster. Uh, very talented roster they've collected hasn't worked well together. So they might be able to, I think the one guy that's untouchable on their team, and I've used that word very lightly because in the NBA right now, I just don't think anybody's untouchable. But I think, gosh,
Yeah, Bruce Brown, Gary Trent Jr., like guys that are like not gonna break the bank for their contract, but could
right.
really deliver above what they signed for.
Gary Trent Jr. might be a guy that they would be really uh, like interested in. I would believe that they would be really interested in because he does fill a really great role. He's a scorer. He can hit threes. So and uh, you can move him into the one. I don't believe in D'Angelo Williams. I think they should trade him or let him go. I think they should let him go.
Jonas Valanciunas,
No, I don't think he serves it. I think he'll
you've
just
already
clog
got
up the
AD.
lane. Yeah, I think he'll just clog up the lane. Um, I think if you want to put someone next to him, I think Claxton would be pretty cool. And then you could move AD to the power forward instead of center, and you could have Claxton do all the stuff that AD does, like just the extra stuff AD doesn't have to do.
Mhm.
He can pick up the slack on the rebounding. He's definitely a shot blocker or even a shot changer. That'd be great for him. AD doesn't have to be the sole guy doing that on that team. Claxton's one. Peyton Pritchard could be a really good guy in LA. Mhm. Guys like
With like
that.
a perimeter guy like that,
Yep. Yep.
half court shooter.
Yep. Uh, man, another guy that who has Portland has. They could go for Robert Williams. He'd be another great guy. Hopefully he gets healthy because he's an amazing center.
Yeah,
Plays defense, plays well around the rim. Guys like that. But yeah, free agency is there's a lot of guys who could help the Lakers on free agency this year, and they just have to pick the guys that are going to work with JJ Redick, whatever system he's bringing in to run. The mentality that he's going to bring into if they're able to cope with that. So and Rob Pelinka has been known to do a pretty good job at being a GM. So
yeah. I blame
be
Rob Pelinka
interesting.
for destroying like all those number two picks, like that nucleus. Is that's I blame Rob for that. I blame Pelinka for that, but I feel like maybe that's misguided and ownership maybe wanting to accelerate the AD trade a year before he hit free agency for whatever reason. I thought if he if we just waited a year, then we'd be able to sign AD and keep all of those players who went on to still have great careers outside of LA. But yeah, in the situation that we're in right now, we got the new coach coming in. And I really want it to be different from, the Vogel and Darvin Ham runs. Even though, we won the 2020 championship, the Lakers did, uh, doesn't feel like the players bought in, and that's Redick mentioning that in his introduction conference. It doesn't matter what I think or what I want to do for the team if, the players don't buy in to what, the plan is. So
It's
I
true.
think trying to figure out, how to get that started and to keep that because once LeBron starts, that bad body language out there on the court and like
So
just feel defeated and stuff, that shit spreads into
and
the rest of the team so fast.
that's exactly what I was gonna say when you were talking about how, especially for Darvin Ham, I don't think LeBron bought in at the beginning,
Mm.
and I think I don't
He's
care
just a
what they say.
manager.
That's what I'm saying. I don't care what people say. Like he's really the reason why a lot of these coaches are getting fired, which is sad. Same with KD, same with Giannis. These guys have that effect on them, and that's tough because there's probably some guys on the team who really wanted to play in Darvin Ham's system or who probably would be great in that system, but because the one guy on the team, the star, possibly the face of the league, uh,
This
says
isn't
one thing
working for me.
right for him. Like,
Yeah.
okay. but I mean, and it's
But if
hard to
you
say
buy
like,
in and sacrifice, it could make it easier for everybody. This could work. But
and that's what I'm saying.
if
And
you
look,
don't buy in,
he's a great guy. I'm pretty sure. I don't know him off the court. You can see all the philanthropy stuff he does, and he's so engaged, maybe a little too engaged with a lot of things at times.
yeah.
Uh, but I think he's a dick in the court, like on the court and in the locker room. I think he's always been a dick.
I don't get a dick vibe. I get like a little douchey. Like,
Man, he's a douche dick. That's what he is. Like,
okay, yeah, okay, we'll merge it into that.
if you could douche your dick, he would be it.
Yeah, you see like him pretending to read books or having answers like, oh yeah, I knew that was gonna happen. But those also, you know what, those are memes that I like ingest,
No,
so
for
maybe
sure.
I'm just like,
My thing is, it's
social
his
media got me.
record. It's his record with teammates and players, like guys getting
Yeah,
traded, or
yeah,
all
give
of a
me
sudden,
facts.
yeah,
Yeah.
getting or guys getting put to the end of the bench for no reason, not finding minutes, or all of a sudden, like guys like, man, Kuzma's one guy, Kuzma, I'm pretty sure pissed him off, and they traded him to fucking Washington. Is it Washington they went
Yeah,
first?
yeah. What they trade him for? I forget. Mo
Like a washing
Wagner.
machine. I don't know.
Yeah, Mo Wagner and some
See,
cash.
and where did Mo go end up? He ended up in fucking Orlando with his brother, who starts ahead of him, which sucks. I'd be kicking my brother's ass for no reason.
His little brother.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah,
yeah. All right. So that is. We'll have to see. Those are our thoughts on the Lakers. Thanks for the like who they should get to. That's another question I wanted to ask, but you answered that perfectly. The Lakers need to get people that are
look,
gonna
the
that
Lakers
work hard, play hard, so that it's easier for AD and LeBron to, kind of get through the season.
The Lakers' history behind who they are, the city they're in. It's a big market. It doesn't take much to lure people to LA. With that being said, no one wants to pay LeBron.
That's the vibe I get. Yeah,
But
but
yeah,
you got to
I
find
think
guys that are like gonna Dennis Rodman rebound,
amen.
full ass extension, going out of bounds. But you gotta like find psychos to do that. You have to find like people that are not on the radar at all, or that are being overlooked for one reason or another, maybe medical or personal reasons, or like team reasons. People have like a bad record or a history, but they'll play in the right situation. So really finding those pieces and then figuring out how to make those pieces fit for a coach, a new
Right.
coach,
Man,
is going to be exciting to see.
One guy that I love watching back in the day, and he wasn't a superstar, but he did all the little things you needed him to do and still scored a lot. Or not a lot, but he could fill a bucket. Was Antonio McDyess. Antonio McDyess would just get on the court and play his heart out. He'd rebound, he'd dunk over people, you know what I mean? He'd go after loose balls. He played defense. So if you guys can find someone who played like Antonio McDyess, yeah, the Lakers would be in good hands. So
we'll see. Are there any other sports things? I want to talk about dragons. Oh, that's what I wanted to talk about. Is that a blow pop?
it is.
Did you get that? Like, did you buy that individually, or is that from a box?
No, so I walked into my little sister's house to drop off my other niece. It's summertime, and they have a swimming pool at their apartment complex. So my little sister called my older sister and was like, "Lassie, you should come over tomorrow. We're gonna take the kids to the pool. We're gonna make a whole day of it." So I got up early this morning on my day off because I love Lassie. Uh, Took her over there, and the first place I walked to was the pantry. My niece, older niece, Leah Fa, graduated from Five High School. Shout out to her. Early shout out before shout outs. She's gonna go to Eastern Washington. Love her to death. Great job. She's gonna be great. They had a couple of Ziploc bags full of candy from her days. One of them had nothing but blow pops in, and I have this one. I have a pocket right now full of blow pops. I have a one of the bags from the pantry in the house, stashed somewhere that should not be named.
Tax.
Yeah. So yeah, that was,
Uncle
you know,
Tax.
that was just a handful of things that I took from the pantry. We're not gonna name the rest of the stuff I took. Um, but blow pops are essential. Uh, yeah, yeah, blow pops and pickles.
Let's go. You're watching House of the Dragon, yeah?
I
HBO
am. I
Game
am.
of Thrones
Hey,
prequel.
if those kids had blow pops, they wouldn't be picking each other's eyes off and trying to kill each other. They needed blow pops. That's what they needed.
Man,
But no,
this second episode where Eamon's lying there with like the harlot mom, and like they used to make fun of me as a child. I was like, oh yeah,
that's
they did bully
that
him before he got a
that
dragon
was that was a little disturbing. But
for sure.
I'm like, bro, where's your clothes?
I want to know how that's going to be used against him. How that lady and her knowing that like he
Oh,
likes to
definitely.
cuddle up. Who's going to
Yeah.
use that? How they're going to get that information? Maybe that's going to be the White Worm,
But not only that,
Massaria.
he like listens to her. Like she's literally like almost like she's raising him the way that he
Hmm.
should have been, you know?
I
Uh
did not disagree with what she was talking about. Like,
exactly.
I mean, Sammy was like, "Oh, it's weird." She tried to like fuck him after saying, "The boy is a man." Like he was like, "Oh, it's a little that's ooh.
He
uh
was also remorseful for killing his cousin. I'll
that
give him that.
yeah, right."
I'll
And
give him that.
he's like, "I lost my temper. I
Right.
regret that. I didn't mean for that to happen.
Right.
That business with Luke." And the thing that she says is, I would just remind you that when princes lose their temper, it's not often
People,
them
yeah,
who suffer.
people like
It's the
me.
small folk like me.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, that's not bad advice. That's good advice, right?
No,
And
that's
is
her
this gonna
saving her.
make Aemon like
That's
not
that's her
a
saving her
killer?
own life. That's
Oh
her
yeah, but
saving her
then
own life.
that was the other part. I was like, or is she just trying to make herself like part of this solution, right? She's
She
like,
said, "Hey,
remember me?
after we fuck, if you get mad one day, don't kill me."
Yeah, don't forget about the small folk like me. But yeah, he knows that something's off because he saw the back door in his room open, and he found that coin from underneath
Yeah,
where the gold cloak took all the coins off of the
yeah.
map that Eamon and Kristen Cole were plotting on. Uh, and then I don't know what else stood out to you, like in the last, or I guess either of the first two episodes. We're just now talking about this, but
Man, just I mean, it's almost like watching real life politics. Luke, it's like, Trump went to jail. Well, we're gonna send you, little Biden. You're going to jail too. But Luke died, and then they went. That was tough. That was tough
well,
because it wasn't her that sent him. It was freaking Damon that went and paid some people and didn't give right instructions, and they ended up killing a little kid, who wasn't supposed to be killed. And then he has the audacity to act like, no, look,
it was
I
a
did what I
mistake.
right, like I did what I did.
I
We're
cannot be
gonna
held
move past it
responsible.
again, and it just it weakens her stance with a lot of people now, and so she's gonna have to make up with that. But then the other ding dong goes and hangs people and leaves them in front of the castle, and now his stance
Yeah.
is ruined with his folks. So
Well,
just
I
a lot of,
mean, and freaking Otto Hightower is like, "Yo, we're gonna
and he's
use
right,
this two-piece boy,
right,
and we're gonna take him out and showcase him to the entire city
right. You
in a
have
long, drawn-out funeral procession with the
his
town
grandmother,
crier.
his
Well, yeah,
mother
yep. His
is riding
mother
in the
and
back.
grandmother crying behind him, following behind his like casket.
Right,
You
that's
know,
politics. That's definitely politics.
yo,
That's
yeah. Especially in an election year here in America, I'm thinking like, oh, political, right? Angles,
right,
how get the
right.
mind of the public, word of mouth, just like and seeing that's exactly what the high tower well Otto's trying to do. He's like, let's use that, and there's a person in front of them yelling, behold The works of
Uh,
Rhaenyra
yeah, the
the
what did he say?
Cruel, Rhaenyra the Monstrous.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But
Oh, the what did he say? He said something, but it was too funny. But I mean, all that's crazy. And then just uh oh, and then Crystal sending and the fact that there's fool's name is it Eric and Arek, the
Eric
twins.
and Eric, I think it's pronounced the same. I
I
think
know it's
that's
I
the
know
joke.
it's spelled the same. I was like, these
One's
motherfuckers.
a A, one's a E, and I think it's pronounced the same. And that's just
Oh,
like a joke. Like,
how did you think that plan was gonna work? Did you really expect
bro,
Eric
he
to leave?
got into the bedchambers.
Okay, but then what?
And then he unsheathed his sword way too early. Also, how does the brother know to come in right then and there?
Oh, the what's his name's was it his ex-girlfriend or wife? Damon.
Yeah,
The
Damon's ex-mistress,
She saw
the White Worm.
Eric walking. She caught
Right,
him walking together. So I'm pretty sure she ran back, and they didn't show that
right.
part, but
So
I'm pretty
that's
sure
the
she made it back.
off-screen part, right? The
Yeah,
same as in episode one when the rat catcher's like, and what if we can't find Aemon Targaryen? What do
right,
you want to do then? And then it like lingers, the camera lingers on Daemon, but it cuts away before, he says, then kill anybody. Because we don't know if that's what really happened. That's good. I think, and that's the source material for this series is like a history book of stories collected from three different people. So it's like, and they give different accounts of stuff. So I think that's kind of part that the show's actually kind of mimicking is that you don't know exactly what happens, and people can just say, in this time, you could just say, "No, I didn't do that. I didn't say that,"
for
and like,
sure.
there's no way to like forensically prove unless it's like
Also,
you're
also
caught in the act or something.
I think it's like status because I think if poor people said it, people nah, you're dead. But if a rich
Yeah, for
person said
sure,
it,
for
then
sure.
it's like, well, you're right. I didn't see you do it, rich guys.
Yeah, and yeah, it's all about what you can prove and what you can
Right.
buy. Um,
It was pretty crazy the way Luke's brother got the news of his passing. He was at the wall trying to recruit.
yep,
Um,
yep, yep. The
yeah,
Starks.
yeah, the Starks, and then he got a message there. So it's pretty. Which ultimately led to the Starks offering 2,000 men to aid in
Well,
the war.
yeah, he's like 2,000 like old guys.
Yeah,
It's like really that's all you got, and he's like, "Hey, they're Northerners, fool. They're gonna fight. Like these are
they're
gonna be some
different.
of your
Yeah,
best fighters." But everyone else needed to stay there and man the wall. Like I got to make sure this evil magic doesn't get through
right,
here. Oh, by the way, a raven just came from
right.
Dragonstone.
Yo, and
And then he
it,
reads it. He's like, "Oh shit, you gonna want to fly back home." But yeah, it looked like, I mean, and that's the Lucerys dying in the season one finale, and Jacaerys finding out in the season two premiere. That could be the reason, like the character. I mean, I know we know the character grew up in that time between filming, but the reason why Jacaerys looks so much older is because it's been months. He's been on the campaign trail,
oh,
collecting
for
people for
sure.
his
Yeah,
mom, working his way up to the
yeah,
wall where he gets to the Starks, and then it's just that news getting to him. Well, I guess a Raven would have been sent directly, so maybe that cut some of it. But yeah, finding out that way. I mean, that's the same way Rhaenyra found out about um, Lucerys dying is they sent the Ravens, and Damon found out and told her, and she had to go get physical proof. But man, Tristan Cole, like you said, sending Eric to go and imitate Eric so that he can get into the bedchambers and slay Rhaenyra, and then freaking Aegon telling his grandpa, "You're fired." Oh,
that's
bro,
he said, take off your badge.
remove your badge, Sir Otto. His like, oh, I think Otto knew he went one or two insults too far because he was calling them all sorts of names. Feckless, idiot.
Hey
Watch
man,
how you talk to your king, my lord.
that fool, yeah, that fool. I mean, you are smashing the kid's mother. That's you should
Oh
take it
man.
easy. You should take it easy.
Yeah. And where were you? I was a bed, yo, Grace. Who's bed?
Right. Whose bed were you in, fool?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm interested to see in episode 3 uh if Kristen Cole is the new hand of the king, or if that's going to the guy with the crutches, the clubfoot, the like spy
Mm.
Lara Strong.
Uh,
But he said, yo, give it to Sir Kristen Cole, right?
no, I think it's gonna be Cole. The other dude, I think he is just gonna be more of like uh not little. I guess more like Littlefoot from the regular
Mm.
uh series. You know, just super conniving and you
Yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. But I think Kristen Cole gets it, which is I think is gonna cause maybe conflict because again he's smashing the kid's mother.
Yeah, and she's the one that's like now tasked with reining in Aegon, who wants war because his son was murdered, you know. So uh but I mean, now the stuff that's happening, it makes it so that it's like, yeah, I could see why any of these people want to go out and fight because they're losing family, and it looks like it's be blatantly because of the other side, when in reality, Aemon didn't want Vagar to freaking murder Luke and Arax,
Yeah,
and Rhaenyra definitely didn't want this 4-year-old baby, uh, killed in front of his mom, and yeah. So this stuff is happening, but it's going to be war. I think the biggest thing for me is, when are Aemon and Daemon going to fight? Because they're both going to the Riverlands. They're both going to Harrenhal because they're like, that's the key to this part of the war, and winning the war is going to Harrenhal. And they're both heading there. So I
I
think that's
mean
going to be the fight
Damien could end up being the hand.
for Aegon.
Yeah,
Uh, I mean, yeah,
he
I
has
think
left.
his loyalty. I feel like his loyalty isn't really questioned, but he does the conniving, weird
Right.
stuff. So like, that's the wild card. Um, but I think he's stuck on Rhaenyra's side. Like it doesn't make sense for him to like be Aegon's side. Like, if he wanted to be king, which is what is in question, right? She's like, why don't do you think I'm your queen? Do you not see me as your ruler? Do you think what you should have been inheriting, the throne from your brother, was stolen from you, and you're still plotting to get it? And he's like, how can you question my loyalty, all that? But because you're conniving, fool.
Right.
uh she can't trust you. He Viserys couldn't trust you, all that.
Right. And you slept with your niece, so I mean that's
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And now, I mean, they got 2 kids. I was like, holy
yeah.
shit. Uh, yeah, I want to see Daemon versus Aemon, Vagar versus Syraxes. I think he's gonna need help. I don't think he can beat Syraxes. Can beat Vagar. Vagar is big as shit.
Yeah, that's a big dragon.
Yeah, but I mean, the end of season 1, Daemon was trying to get a big ass dragon that sleeps in Dragonstone, and I think one of the Seafarer brothers, the younger one, Adam, saw a dragon flying around, and I'm like, is that a
Yeah,
riderless dragon? Is he about to
he,
hop on that? Is that
he was
sea
picking up
smoke?
shells.
Yeah.
I thought for a minute it was uh the girl that Rhaenyra sent to her
Oh,
niece. I
okay.
thought it was
Vela
her. Yeah, I thought it was
heading
Bella
out.
just yeah, or flying around like because she wasn't supposed to be noticed, but she was supposed to go over and to fly over and just look over things and see,
Yeah.
be unseen but
So
check out
yeah, she
things.
sent her to King's Landing to go spy on
Mm,
Aegon and Allison and them, and see what they're doing. So I thought that dragon, though, wasn't like going from A to B. That dragon was just like fucking
roaming.
flying around. Yeah, just
Yeah.
like, so that made me think, oh, was that Laner, the brother that pretended to die in the first movie, that was
Mm.
originally married to Rhaenyra? His dragon, I think, stayed. So that could be Sea Smoke, but yeah, you'd be right. That could just be Bela and Moon Dancer. All right. I mean, I'm. freaking excited about
Oh, for sure.
the next
Yeah.
couple of episodes. About to be a war. Shout outs. Got any shout outs for this week?
Yeah, man. So we shout out my niece, Leafai Tulangi Husi, who's she just got back yesterday. She went for orientation at Eastern Washington. Loved it. Can't wait to get into school. Congratulations to her from graduating from Five High School here in Washington. And, you got a whole new life ahead of you. A lot of options. So go be great. Shout out also to Des Ali. Of
Mm-hmm.
This Is Her Game. She finally decided to start an AAU team, travel ball team. As far as the information we know, it'll be called Carson Select. She hasn't put out any real detailed information yet, but she promises real soon. She also has some runs going on. Well, This Is Her Game has runs going around in the LA area, Carson. So look out for those runs. Des Ali and This Is Her Game doing great things out there in California and everywhere else that they travel to. They're based in California,
Yeah.
but they do travel up and down the coast. So shout out to Des Ali and This Is Her Game. Uh, Shout out to Chelsea Gray, just returning back, played her first game a couple of nights ago, coming back from a leg injury that she had last season. She came back to a standing ovation. The crowd, man, should have heard the cheers as soon as they
Nice.
announced Chelsea Gray back in the court. So we love you, Chelsea. Good to see you back in the court. And man, shout out to Nora. Nora sent me the cutest video the other day, just a couple days ago, and she's the cutest, and I love it. The words are starting to be a lot more clear than they've been, but also they're at her pronunciation is at that point where it's the cutest thing ever. So
Hey,
shout out
Uncle
to Nora.
Juarez.
I know it's too funny. Her voice is
See
it's
if I
so
can get
deep,
this
but
over
she's
here.
so sweet. So yeah. Hey, Uncle Wallace. See, man, too cute. She's so adorable. So shout out to you, Nora. Make your dad's life a living hell.
Yeah. Every time she goes to the park, she comes back sick, and I'm like, so much fun, so much fun.
She's just got to get out there and get used to
Hey, you just got to build up,
build your strength against these allergies.
Uh, yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah, definitely. Carson Select. That's dope. Shout out to Des. This is
Yeah,
her game. Coach Reina. Um, Yeah, man. Also shout out again, reminding you guys, we're less than a month away from 4 days of Aloha in Vancouver, Washington, Extra Short Park. We're going to see you guys there. Levasa is going to be there. Come and check out the tent. In person merchandise is going to be there for you to take home immediately. So if you're in the Pacific Northwest, definitely get your tickets July 25th through the 28th. That's the last weekend of July at Esther Short Park, Livasa Island Apparel. Also, check them out online, www.Livasa Island Apparel. You can place your orders there or see what's going to be kind of available there at the festival. But yeah, shout out to Forrest. Appreciate you for talking Lakers and Dragons.
yeah.
You're a real one. Yeah.
Thank you.
Uh, I also appreciated how you put your Duke hate away to like really analytically go into what the Lakers need and what JJ Redick is really going to need to get everybody to buy in and make that work.
Man,
But
it's the worst for me having a guy who went to Duke coach the Lakers. That's like double hate.
yeah, it's like easier to handle. That's our show. Appreciate you guys for tapping in. Polynesian on all the socials, polynesian at
You
gmail.com if
see it.
you want to
You
email
see it.
us. That's a very nice
You
background.
see it. You see it.
Uh, and yeah, let us know. Send us any questions or topics you want to hear Forest breakdown. We can have those read out. I want to do like a mailbag.
Ooh, that'd be dope.
Yeah, like mailbag, we can shout people out, and then we can also have like different ideas for topics and conversations and we can answer them.
Getting questions like, "Yeah, we just want to know why you work out so much, but you're still fat."
Then we can talk about it. Let us know. Polynesian@gmail.com. Send us those questions. Chocolate or mayo? One has to go. We'll see you guys next week. Thank you very much for tapping in. Appreciate it. Follow, rate 5 stars, do all the things. Stay hydrated, stay blessed, stay balling, love and light. Peace.
Cheers.
Change the electoral college system.